It's Sunday morning, and everyone knows what that means. It's time for another Sunday doubleheader for the Greater Northeast Collegiate Baseball League. I'm Charlie Fellows, as always, bringing you the action, this time from the Field of Dreams up in Harrison, Maine. First time I've been here. It's a pretty facility, great park, and the site of hopefully some even prettier, even better baseball between the Nor'easters and the Maine Lightning. A rematch of the first game the Lightning played in their league. That was a loss. They will try and get redemption today with the man on the mound, Josh Kopetsky, who is warming up for the defense around him. Gus Holland doing the catching. Rhys Owens at first, Grady Hotham at second, Andrew Heffernan at third, Henry Bebo at short, Campbell Cassidy in left, Henry Lozier in center, and Matthew Connor in right is the defense around Kopetsky. The Thornton Academy product, Saco native, heading to the University of Rhode Island this fall. He, along with everyone on this roster, is a rising college freshman. The fifth and final addition to this league, and the man he will be facing down first, the leadoff hitter for the Nor'easters, is Dawson Gunlaw, just about to step into the box as we are just about to get ready here. The lineup behind Gunlaw: Ryan Robertson, Luke Chessie, Brady Graffam, Sam Merrill, Chris Balzano, Dylan Furman, Max Cloutier, Michael Wern, and Hunter Brissett. The 10-man battery for Coach Max Zalewski's Nor'easters. And the first man in that lineup ready to stand in as we are just about to get ready to get underway here in Harrison. Kopetsky starts him off with a swinging strike. Man at the plate, Dawson Gunlaw, a senior at St. Joseph's. He's the designated hitter today. Hits that one right at the second baseman, Grady Hotham, who gets the line out to start this one. Quick two-pitch at bat to bring up Ryan Robertson, who's in right today, a sophomore at Immaculata. He's hitting .500 this year, driven in 3 runs. Grounds that one over to short. Throwing on off the bag and unable to make the tag is Rhys Owens. So throw a little off the line from Henry Bebo over at short, and Robertson able to get aboard. One on, one out for Luke Chessie. Batting third today. Kopetsky starts him off inside. Lefty on the mound for the first time this league. That ball rolls all the way to the backstop, and able to steal second safely is Ryan Robertson. Right between the legs of Augustin Holland. Chessie is a senior at Bowdoin, facing a fellow Thornton Academy countryman in Kopetsky. Pops that high up and back out of play. You may have heard that off the roof. I believe that was of my press box. The clear, unobstructed view you have is not an illusion. There is no protective glass or window or anything between me and the field of play, so I ask that the hitters on both sides be kind and place their foul balls in a place where they can't get me. Kopetsky, that one goes to the backstop as well. That was out of Holland's reach, and now Robertson down to third on the wild pitch. So just like that, a man on third and one out. Chessie at .262 with 3 home runs his junior year at Bowdoin. Also made 6 appearances on the mound, 3 of them starts, with a 4.15 ERA, 8 Ks, just over 17 innings pitched, so he can play wherever you want him. Golfs that foul out of play. 5'10" righty is at short today. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Foul tip into the mitt. For strike 3, Chessie will go down. First K of the campaign for Kopecky. And now Brady Graffam, batting cleanup, will stand in with a man on first, 2 outs. Graffam is the first baseman. Looks at a ball low. He's a sophomore at USM, one of many Thornton Academy products on both sides today, just like the man preceding him in the lineup. Chip foul, 1-1. He had just 1 hit as a freshman at USM. High for ball 2. So far in the league this year, he's hitting .227, batted in 4 runs, stole 2 bases. He's as dependable a hitter as any. Skied foul down the right field line, out of play. It's a great spectator experience here in Harrison. It really does feel like you're playing on a baseball field in the middle of the woods, miles away from any civilization. And that is, of course, because that is exactly where you are. Swing and a miss. That goes to the backstop, though, and the catcher, Holland, is going to be unable to make that play, so in to score is Robertson. It's an interesting trip around the bases for him. 2 pass balls, a wild pitch after the single. And the Nor'easters are on the board here in the first. Down to first on the swinging strikeout is Graffam. That's Kopecky's second of the inning, but he'll need 1 more out to end it. Throws over to first, where Reese Owens stands vigil. Now Andrew Merrill, excuse me. It's outside for ball 1. Merrill, the extra hitter in this 10-man rotation lineup, if you will. Sophomore at East Connecticut State. That's a ball outside, and another free advance. The 3rd of the inning. 4th of the inning, actually. Graffam down to second. Merrill's hitting .389, batted in 2 runs. Foul ball. He's an Oxford Hills native. Graduated from Oxford Hills Comprehensive High School. 6'2" right-hander. Played club ball with River Rats. Of the Southern Maine variety. 1-1. Just inside. Nope, that's a strike. 1-2. 2-2, excuse me. Kopecky trying to put him away. And then this inning with a runner in scoring position. That's low. And advancing to third. And that throw, if that had been on line, probably would have gotten him. But as it stands, Graffam down to third with a full count on Merrill. That's swing and a miss for strike 3. Kopecky able to get out of it with a man on third, just 1 run in. He strikes out 3 in the inning. One of them reaches base anyway. Nor'easters take a 1-0 lead in the top of the first. We're ready for the bottom of the first now, and it's time to look at the Nor'easters defense with Dylan Furman at the catcher, Brady Graffam at first, Max Cloutier at second, Luke Chessie at short, Chris Balzano at third, the outfield, Michael Warren in left, Hunter Brissett in center, Ryan Robertson in right, and the man on the mound is Dylan Miner. He's a senior at USM, native of East Baldwin, went to Sacopee Valley High School in this general neck of the woods. Stands a towering 6'5", Made 8 appearances for USM, 6 of them starts, 5.47 ERA, 18 strikeouts. He was a finalist for the Mr. Maine Baseball Award as a senior in high school. Also a 2-time WMC first-team all-conference player. Has his share of accolades, looking to translate that in his start here. In the lineup, he will be facing all rising freshmen, of course, for the Lightning. Henry Lazier, Grady Hotham, Richard Gilboy, Henry Bebo, Gus Holland, Andrew Heffernan, Reese Owens, Campbell Cassidy, and Matthew Connor, the 9-man unit for the league's newest team. These Nor'easters are 5-4. Got over 500 with a win against these very Lightning recently on Friday. And now Henry Lazier will stand in. The Thornton Academy product out of Husson, or heading to Husson, rather. Miner going to start him off inside with the ball. He's one of many Thornton Academy products you'll see on this Lightning squad, and that is not a coincidence. Thornton Academy did very well this year in the SMAA Class A playoffs. That's Ball 2. They were the South Regional runners-up, losing to the eventual champion South Portland. They had a very deep roster. Lazier swings and misses to bring the count 1-2. Other Thornton Academy products on this roster include the likes of Justin LaBelle, who is not on that squad, as Lazier takes ball 3. And just the 2 of them, actually. But for any high school to have more than one is an accomplishment on this Lightning squad, as Lazier starts the frame off with taking ball 4. Miner a leadoff walk. Now I'll bring up Grady Hotham. 5'8" right-hander. Heading to USM in the fall. He's his second baseman today. Native of Palermo, Maine, as Miner throws over to first. Went to Erskine Academy in South China, which is north of here. Hit .340, drove in 9 runs for Erskine this season as he chops that one down to third, throwing over, and a stretch play. It's out. Brady Graffam really had to put the splits on, but able to stay on the bag and retire Hotham. Lazier advances to second with 1 away. Now we'll bring up Richard Gilboy. One of 3 members of the South Portland Red Riot squad that took home the Class A championship in Maine this past fall. He's heading to St. Michael's in the fall. This spring he won the title. Excuse me, got that month wrong. Hit .333, 10 runs batted in for the Red Riots in the spring. Chops that back foul. He's playing DH today. Meanwhile, the man on the mound, Miner, to keep these base paths relatively clear. That's outside on the strike zone. 1-2 the count. Two and one, excuse me. Miner deals. Outside for ball 3. Lazier leading on second. As the sun now comes out, and it's a cloudy day today, but the temperatures are only going to be rising as that's chopped down the line toward first. Handling it is Graffam, and he's able to tag to get the second out. Down to third goes Lazier. So man on third, 2 outs, familiar position. We saw that in the last frame. That runner did not score. The runner before him did. But trying to drive him home with 2 outs will be Henry Bibeau. The Portland High School product heading to Bowdoin this fall. Playing short this morning. Looks at a strike down the middle. He's a River Rats alumnus. One of many in this league. Lazier on third. That's low and away, but still in the strike zone. Quick 0-2. Landing manager Matt Powers cheering his batter on. That's low. With a catcher Gus Holland on deck. That's hit hard into right. Going back on it, and that's just at the base of the fence. I thought that might be out for a second. Coming in to score is Lazier, and into second comfortably with a double is Bibeau. So the Lightning strike back to even it up at 1 in this first inning. Bibeau got all of that one. I thought that might be over the fence. It's 325 feet out there and right. Just hit the base of the fence. The right fielder Robertson couldn't cover that much ground in time, and that's an RBI double. And swinging and missing at the first offering is Gus Holland, the catcher today. He's Freeport product. Heading to USM in the fall, where he'll be joining the man he's currently facing, Minor. It's hit down right field foul. Oh, 2 from Minor. Bibeau on second. Checked his swing outside for a ball. Set into the woods, off and right. And Holland called for time right before that offering. 6'5" righty, ready to deal. Chip foul. That had a bit more juice behind it. I might have been in trouble. Two. 1-2, excuse me. That's chipped into the dirt, foul. Holland fighting to stay alive in this at-bat with a man in scoring position. The man before him, Henry Bibeau, already erased the damage done in the first inning. He now resides at second. Pitch. Grounded down the third base line. Fair. Rounding third is Bibeau. He will score. Holland will hold up at first. That's an RBI single. And the Lightning take a 2-1 lead. 2 straight 2-out hits. after the leadoff walk to Lazier. And now Holland at first for Andrew Heffernan, who swings and misses. Perhaps the most decorated player on this roster. The prestigious recipient of the 2023 Gatorade Baseball Player of the Year in the state of Maine. Also a champion alongside his South Portland teammates. He's heading to Merrimack this fall, a Division I program. He was a pitcher in high school, 0.33 ERA, while also hitting .432 from the plate. He went 2 for 4 on Friday in his debut. He's 6'2" righty. Is a force to be feared. 2-1. Checked his swing on an inside ball, 3-1. Foul back to bring the count full. Minor trying to get out of this inning. Already given up 2 runs to this hard-hitting lineup. Over to first. Nothing there. Payoff pitch. Runner goes. That's fouled off. Lined into the woods. Holland will have to return to first. Minor again deals. Runner again goes. That's hit hard into left. Going back at the track, and that's out of here. A 2-run home run for the Gatorade Player of the Year. Andrew Heffernan tacks on 2 more for the Lightning. That's over the 325-foot left field fence down onto the football field. And a 4-1 lead in the first inning for the Lightning. Minor was so close to getting out of it, but left that one right over the plate. And a hitter of Heffernan's caliber is not going to let that slide. Swing and a miss now for Reese Owens, who's at first. He's a Buxton native, graduated from Bonnie Eagle. He'll be heading to St. Joseph's in Standish, not too far from home. That's a dribbler down the third base line, fielded by Balzano over to first and through the glove of Brady Graffam. So Owens will advance to second. Probably would have been safe anyway, but unable to make that connection was Balzano. And that gives another man in scoring position for the Lightning with their 8-hitter, Campbell Cassidy. Future Merrimack teammates with the home run hitter Heffernan after graduating from Edward Little in Auburn. Pops him up. Shallow infield. Chessie gets under it and makes the catch to retire the side, but the Lightning get 4 runs in the bottom of the first, including a 2-run shot by Andrew Heffernan. They turn a 1-run deficit into a 3-run lead. Top of the second, 6, 7, 8 hitters due up for the Nor'easters, first of whom is Chris Balzano, who's at third base for the Nor'easters this morning. Junior Roger Williams, one of many Thornton Academy players, as I already mentioned, including the man on the mound, Josh Kopetsky. A little more on him. He's one of many dual threats on the mound and at the plate for these Lightning as he starts Balzano off with a strike. Kopetsky hit .516, drove in 8 runs for the Trojans. That's inside for ball 1. He also had a 2.83 ERA and 43 strikeouts in just under 30 innings pitched for a Trojan squad that made it all the way to the Final Four. 1-2 on Balzano. He was a senior when Kopetsky was a freshman at Thornton Academy. It's fouled back. He had .261 with 23 at-bats, 6 of them hits for Roger Williams, as a sophomore did Balzano, while majoring in political science. 1-2. That's hit into right, and making an over-the-shoulder catch is Matthew Connor. It looked like he might not be able to track that down at first. That was a deep hit, but Balzano is retired. And that will bring up Dylan Furman, the catcher for Selewski's squad. Sophomore at USM. Kopetsky starts him off right down the middle, just as he did Balzano. Furman, a Stratham, New Hampshire native, hitting .300, batted in 3 runs so far this season. Ball 1. Went to become a Husky at USM after being an all-state level soccer player at Exeter High School in Stratham. Fouled back out of play. And there, as a freshman, he hit .417 in the 12 at-bats he was afforded. So far, playing very well, giving Coach Selewski some pop from his bat and a catcher spot in his lineup. The catcher tandem of Furman and Ryan Robertson, who you saw he singled earlier in this game and later came around to score, has been excellent for the league-leading squad. Line foul toward the Lightning dugout. Kopetsky's 1-2. High to even the count. Sun is now out in earnest, and the camera finally doing justice as that is hit into right field, sliding on and unable to make that grab as Matthew Connor got his glove under it, but that was a tremendously tricky spot for him to get to, and Furman will be aboard with a single with 1 away. As I was saying, this camera without the glare finally doing justice to the beautiful view I have from this press box. It's a long drive for everyone involved, but this is Maine baseball at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. Ball 1 high to Max Cloutier. Sophomore at St. Lawrence. He's at second today. Kopetsky throws over to first. Cloutier from Cumberland. Hit .214 with 2 doubles, slugged .357 at St. Lawrence his freshman year. So far this year, he's hitting .308. Inside for strike 1. This is a big strike zone for Kopetsky. One and one. Swing and a miss. On that pitch high and outside. Another great part about this is definitely the best view of any press box I've had. You really get to see the strike zone and where each pitch is, which can be tough when you're looking at the game from various different angles or if you're way up at the top of the ballpark. Just an overall excellent facility. 2-2 from Kopecky. That's inside for ball 3. That one goes to the backstop as well. Holland couldn't get his glove on that. It was way inside, nearly clipped Cloutier. And it will advance Furman to second. Second wild pitch of Kopecky's outing to go with 3 pass balls that led to the interesting inning that they had in the top of the first. That will be high for ball 4. So Cloutier down to first. Kopecky having some control issues in the early going here. And a mound conference, rather, will commence with manager Matt Powers, catcher Gus Holland. That top of the first featured 3 pass balls and a wild pitch that allowed Ryan Robertson to reach home after a single. Stole second on a pass ball, got to third on a wild pitch, and then reached home on another pass ball. The same pass ball that allowed Brady Graffam to reach first despite striking out. Kopecky and his manager talk things out. He will stay in the game. It's just the second inning. He's got some kinks to work out. It's early in the morning. Probably just drove an hour or more to get here. I don't blame him in the slightest. He will face the number 9 hitter, Michael Wern, a junior at St. Joseph's. Lefty starts him off low. Wern is from Ellington, Connecticut. I truly hope he did not have to make that entire commute this morning. Hit .260 with 15 runs batted in sophomore year at St. Joseph's. Clips that off himself foul. Hitting .263 with 1 run batted in so far this year. And just shake that one off. He fouled that off his foot. But ready to step back in. With 1 away, men on first and second. In the top of the second. Foul down the third base line. Oh, and that's, the runners, there's a bit of confusion amongst the base runners there, but it is a foul ball, so no double play to be made. Cloutier back to first, Furman back to second. The 1-1 from Kopecky. That's hit into right field. Going back on it, Connor. He's under it to make the catch. And tagging and advancing to third is Furman. Cloutier will stay at first. Now the 10th and final man in Max Zalewski's lineup conveniently is number 10, Hunter Brissett. Sophomore at USM. From around here, he's from Lisbon. Had 11 at-bats as a freshman with the Huskies. Got a hit in one of them while majoring in electrical engineering as he takes ball 1. Runners on the corners with 2 down. Throws over to first, where Cloutier had a sizable lead, but he's able to get back. 0-1. High. 1-0, excuse me. Now 2-0. Foul tip into the mitt for strike one from Brissett. 6-foot center fielder today from Lisbon Falls High School. Over to first. Once more. Kopetsky has that advantage being lefty. Able to keep the first base runner in check. High for ball 3. Kopetsky has gotten outs, and he's only allowed 1 run to his counterpart's 4, but he's had trouble finding the strike zone. That may have been ball 4, as it is got him jammed over to second, and that is way over the head of the first baseman, Rhys Owens. The run will score. Furman able to get in on the Brissett single to chip away at the deficit. Brissett down to first, and Cloutier able to advance to third on the bad throw from Grady Hotham. It's inside, but strike. To the leadoff hitter, Dawson Gunlaw, who lined out to Hotham to start this game. Brissett was most likely going to beat that out anyway, as that's fouled back for strike 2. But Hotham tried to make a throw and threw well over the head of his first baseman, Owens. So the run was going to come in regardless. All that really did was allow Max Cloutier to reach third as Dawson Gunlaw takes a ball. He's second in the GNCBL in batting average, hitting .476. That's ball 2. Has hit .264 with 1 home run during his junior year at St. Joseph's. Kopetsky trying to get out of it. Runner goes inside for ball 3, and sliding in without a throw is Brissett. And now the count is full. Runners on second and third, 2 outs. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Kopetsky leaves 2 men in scoring position. Does allow 1 run, though. The Nor'easters chip away as we have a third straight frame with a run scored. We head to the bottom of the second now. Lightning 4, Nor'easters 2. Dylan Miner back on the mound at the top of the second. He will face the one man the Lightning did not bat in the 4-run first inning, which is Matthew Connor, who's in right today. He's heading to Assumption as a freshman this fall after graduating from Cheverus. Lewiston native, though, so he was a commuter. A 5'9" right-hander. Looks at a low ball from Miner. Looking for an evener inning after a rocky bottom of the first, a leadoff walk, and then 2 quick outs, but double, single, 2-run homer. Able to get 4 runs in. It's Miner. He thought that was a good pitch. So did the Nor'easters dugout, but the umpire disagrees. So 2-0 count. It's low for ball 3. And that's a 4-pitch walk. His second leadoff walk in as many innings. And Matthew Connor is aboard. And that will bring up the man he walked to start the last inning, Henry Lazier. Later came around to score. Leads him off with the ball. One out. Minor looking to regain some control here. Lightning batsmen are seeing it well and not getting much to hit. Minor's second straight 3-0 count. And that's high. So 8 pitches, 4 balls, and 2 men aboard via walk to begin the bottom of the second. Lazier aboard with his second walk of the game. Minor's third issued, and Grady Hotham now will stand in. He grounded out to third on a wonderful stretch play from the first baseman Graffam for the first out of the first inning. And Minor needs to talk it over with his catcher. Wanting to regain some of that control he had in the first inning. You know, you got to be at least finding the strike zone if you're giving up doubles and 2-run homers. Not sure which he would prefer. I suppose no runs are in, so it's not as bad as it could be. But with 2 men on and none out, Hotham is looking to change that. Swing and a miss to even the count. The Erskine Academy product. Looks at a ball high. And that's hit into left center. That's going to drop for a base hit past the outstretched glove of the center fielder. Rounding third and scoring will be Matthew Connor on a double from Grady Hotham. Lightning get their 5th run. Lazier down to third. Hotham gives up, Minor gives up his 5th hit. And now Richard Gilboy, who grounded out to first, chops that one back toward Minor. He'll throw over the first to get the out. 1 away. Center fielder Brissett covered a lot of ground on that Hotham hit. Looked like he might just be able to get a catch on the run. The run may have still scored, but as it was, a stand-up double from the Palermo native. That's low and in the strike zone to Henry Bebo, who doubled his first time up, then scored on the Gus Holland single. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Minor. Foul back. Tie for ball one. Two men in scoring position, one out. If Gilboy can, or Bebo, excuse me, can get a good hit, he can blow this game open. Already 5-2. That's lined, that foul, into the parking lot. As I said, 5-2. Each inning has featured scoring so far. So spectators getting their gas money's worth. Low for ball two. Miners 2-2. Brings the count full. Bebo able to lay off after an 0-2 hole. And Miners got to hang on to some of that control. And this critical payoff pitch, swing and a miss for strike three. That was well inside. But Bebo went for it and gives Minor his first K of the day. A huge second out. To bring up Gus Holland, who singled in a run in the first. Miners 1 out away from getting out of this with just 1 run of damage. And he leads him off with a strike. The Freeport product heading to USM. Hits that high and deep to left. Going back, and foul, just foul. Oh, I really thought that was going to drop. It was just a foot over into foul territory. That would have been 2 runs and at least 2 bases for Holland. A sigh of relief from Nor'easters fans everywhere. And from Minor, of course. 2-2 grounded foul. Oh, 2, excuse me. Minor. And Holland calls for time. Letting out some deep breaths. Don't let the moment get too big for you. That's hit on the end of the bat into right field, and able to make the grab for the third out is Ryan Robertson to retire the side, and Furman able to escape the jam with just 1 run in, leaving runners on second and third. Still, 5-2 is the Nor'easter deficit. We'll see if the scoring every frame rule continues and the Nor'easters are able to fight back as we go to the bottom of the second in Harrison. Kapitsky back for another inning of work, and the heart of the Nor'easter lineup anxious to get another crack at him. Especially Ryan Robertson, who was able to single his first time up. Stole second on a pass ball, got to third on a wild pitch, then reached home on a pass ball on Brady Graffam's third strike. Gave the Nor'easters one of their 2 runs. And that one also will go to the backstop for ball 1 against Robertson. Kapitsky so far, 3 hits allowed, 2 runs, 4 strikeouts. One of them, the runner was able to reach base anyway. Not really a strikeout, but the baseball rulebook decrees it to be so. 1-1 the count. Also 2 wild pitches for Kopitsky, at least by my scoring. Outside for ball 2. Robertson is a Bowdoin, Maine native. Went to Mount Ararat High School. Cuts and misses at strike 2. Adam Maculata, his freshman year, he had just 1 at bat, which was a strikeout. He's been playing much better in the league so far, hitting .500. Inside to bring the count full. Payoff pitch from Kopitsky. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Robertson goes down. That's Kopitsky's 5th K. And just over 2 innings of work. Now, Luke Chessie will stand in. He was one of those Ks. Foul back. While Robertson is from the town of Bowdoin, Chessie attends the University of Bowdoin, which, believe it or not, is not in Bowdoin. People that aren't from Maine always get confused by that. It's a cut and a miss for strike 2. Bowdoin College is in Brunswick. That's where Luke Chessie calls home. He lays off ball 1. He was a batter and a pitcher there. Hit .262 with 3 home runs at the plate. And struck out 8 men in 17 1/3 innings pitched from the mound. Checked his swing, and he did go around. That is strike 3. So dating back to the last inning, 3 straight Ks to make 6 from Kopitsky in total. Brady Graffam was one of those, but he did reach base. So he looks at ball 1. Strike 3 got through the legs of Gus Holland. 1-0. Popped him up into right center. And making the grab is Matthew Connor. To retire the side. 3 up, 3 down. No score in that frame for the first time. The bottom of the 3rd now coming with the same score. Miner will retake the mound for his 3rd inning of work. After a rocky start to the 2nd inning, he was able to escape the inning nearly unscathed, considering the damage that could have been inflicted. But nobody has hit him better thus far than Andrew Heffernan. Hit a 2-run shot to double his squad's lead in the 1st inning with Gus Holland on first. Out into the left corner. And there's a discussion going on here between the managers, Max Zalewski and Matt Powers. So, in the meantime, story of the game so far has been most likely the difference in pitching. Josh Kopitsky has had two non-consecutive instances of striking out 3 straight batters. Miner, meanwhile, with just 1 the entire game, walked 2 men to start the 2nd inning, has given up a double, a home run. Starts Heffernan off 1-1. Cut and a miss for the 2nd strike. The Nor'easters do have 2 of the league's top pitchers in Colin McDonald and Andrew Pruill. Andrew Merrill also, or excuse me, Andrew Pruill. That one off the catcher's mitt and nearly made its way into the press box. Took a very strange bounce to even the count at 2-2. Minor getting his chance to start today. That's grounded towards second. Throws on to Graffam. Able to stay on the bag to retire Heffernan. Cloutier made that play in the field and one away to start the inning. First time Minor has been able to record an opening at bat out, and now Rhys Owens singled and then made it to second on a throwing error from the third baseman Balzano. Looks at ball one. Fouls that one back. Owens, as I said, a Bonnie Eagle graduate. Stat keeping from the Scots' season was spotty this year, so cannot confidently give the numbers he put up. But every hitter in this lineup is a force to be reckoned with as Owens dribbles that down the third base line. Throwing on to get the second out is Balzano. Owens is retired. Quick 2 outs. And Campbell Cassidy now will stand in, who popped out to short his first time up. Another one of the terrifying dual threat players in this lineup. That's outside, but just clipped the strike zone. And that's chipped back for a quick strike 2. Cassidy, Auburn native. Coming off a great season with Edward Little. His squad lost 5-0 to Bangor, or to South Portland, excuse me, in the Class A finals after defeating Bangor in the Northern Regional finals. Cassidy fights one off to stay alive. And he'll be taking his talents to Merrimack, along with Andrew Heffernan. He'll be playing in Division I. Off the mound, up the middle, fielded, over, and third straight ground out for another 1-2-3 frame. The third inning goes much smoother for both pitchers. No score by either team. We are ready to begin the fourth inning now. Josh Kopetsky hoping he can stay in the unreal groove he's been in. He gave up a single to Hunter Brissett in the second inning, but after that, struck out Dawson Gunlaw, struck out Ryan Robertson, struck out Luke Chessie, all swinging, and then got Brady Graffam to fly out. Leads off Andrew Merrill with a ball. I'll let you take a wild guess what happened to him his first time up, given the man on the mound. Hoping not to strike out for the second straight time. He's started off 2-0. Merrill, a sophomore at East Connecticut State. Stands at 6'2", hits that hard out to right. Running on, and that's going to fall right next to the foul line. That's a fair ball into second easily. With a stand-up double to lead off the fourth is Andrew Merrill. Ball looked like it might drift foul. And Matthew Connor was not able to get there in time, so leadoff double. Finally a good knock. First extra base hit for the Norsemen against, or for the Nor'easters, excuse me, against Kopecky, and that'll bring up Chris Balzano, who flew out to right. That one gets through Gus Holland, and down to third, Merrill will advance. Another pass ball. Holland has been a bit shaky on that front, and it led to some scoring in the first inning. That's into left field, down for a base hit. Easily scoring is Merrill from third, and a nice clean single from Balzano. 2 straight knocks to start the inning against Kopecky, and the Nor'easters get their third run. Now Dylan Furman, who did get a hit off of Kopecky his first time up, he singled, then got to second on a wild pitch. Michael Warren advanced him to third, and then Hunter Brissett singled him home for his squad's second run. That was in the second inning. The Roger Williams product fouls that back. Oh, 2 from Kopecky. Runner on first, a run in. Inside. Check to swing. Field umpire confirms. 2-2 the count now. Furman, a sophomore at USM. The New Hampshire native. Got jammed. Pops it up into foul ground and off the roof of the Lightning dugout. No play there. Owens gave chase. So Furman stays alive. Lefty offers. Foul back again. Great at bat here from Furman. Still none away. That's lined right at the third baseman. And I thought he caught it, but it did take a bounce. So the force play at second, and he's able to slide in. Okay, so I thought the third baseman, Andrew Heffernan, made that catch, but he got it on one bounce. Through to Hoffman at second to get the force out. Balzano was thrown out. But Furman made it to first and then was able to advance on the throwing error from Hotham. So 1 out. Furman on second, Max Cloutier batting. He was walked his first time up and takes that one very inside. Got to second on the 100% single, then to third on an error. But he was stranded there. 2-0. If you're wondering what that sound was, if my microphone picked that up, so am I. Just clipped the strike zone for strike one. And that'll bring the count full. And swing and a miss from a 3-0 count. Kopecky fights back and sits down Cloutier, his 7th K of the game. All of them swinging. So 2 away, for Michael Wern, who flied out to right his first time up. Takes inside. The former GNAC All-Rookie selection in 2022 and high school team captain at East Catholic School in Ellington, Connecticut. Hits that one into left center field for a base hit. Rounding third and scoring will be Dylan Furman. And into second on the offline outlet throw for a stand-up double, Michael Wern cuts the Nor'easter deficit to just 1. Furman able to score from second. A clutch RBI 2-out double. And a 5-2 deficit heading into the inning has been cut to 5-4. A Mound Conference now will commence. Kopecky has thrown a lot of pitches. We're still only in the 4th inning, but it's given up some good knocks in this 4th. The leadoff double by Merrill, a single by Balzano, then Furman reached on a fielder's choice, and Wern hit the second double of the inning to drive Furman home. Kopecky will remain in the game to face Hunter Brissett, who singled off him the first time. See if the electrical engineer can, or aspiring electrical engineer, electrical engineering major, can engineer an extension to this rally. It's a high strike. And that's fouled off the face mask of the home plate umpire. He's all right. 0-2 count. Kopecky and his catcher will discuss once more. He's a strike away from ending this inning with 2 runs in. Oh, 2. The man on second. He deals. That's chopped to the shortstop. Throws over to first to get the out and retire the side, but the Nor'easters show some signs of life in the top of the 4th inning. 2 runs come in. The Lightning, though, still lead by 1, 5-4. They'll try to extend that score in the bottom of the 4th here at the Field of Dreams. To the bottom of the 4th now. Dylan Miner back on the mound after 3 innings of work. He'll face off against the 9-1 and 2 hitters, starting with Matthew Connor, who he walked, later came around to score on the Grady Hotham 2-run double in the 2nd inning. Comebacker just past the glove of Miner. Shortstop field over to Graffam and unable to connect there. So a leadoff base runner, got Connor aboard for the 2nd straight time. It's a tough call whether that was an error or a hit, but it looked like he was probably going to be out. So I'm willing to get the shortstop Chessie with that one. Now to the top of the order. It's Henry Lazier, who has walked twice. Come around to score once, been stranded on third the other time. Cut and a miss for strike one. Batting for the Lightning, who took home the GNCBL title last year. Of course, that was a completely different roster. But the winning ways perhaps will continue. Not off to the strongest start, but winning in this one. Ball one to Lazier. He's heading to Husson in the fall. After graduating from Thornton Academy. 1-1. Low. That's line foul. Coach Zalewski hoping he can get one more solid inning out of Minor. After a rough couple first innings, he had a quick 1-2-3 third, so seems to have evened out a bit. 1-2 is chopped down the third base line. On to second for one. On to first, unable to turn the double play. Lazier outruns it. And he's on board for the third time, but Connor is cut down at second for the first out. Lazier aboard, though, with one out for Hotham, who has grounded to third and doubled. Minor starts him off with a strike. Always mindful of those base runners. Lazier can run. He's certainly had a world tour of the base paths thus far. Hotham has an 0-2 count now. Minor. That's hit hard out to left. But Michael Warren gets under it. And unable to advance is Lazier. He'll remain at first. Hotham is retired. They fly out to left. Now 2 away for Richard Gilboy, who is grounded to third and grounded to the pitcher. Grounded to first, excuse me, and grounded to the pitcher. Got a hit almost exactly once every third time with South Portland as his Red Riot squad took home the championship. That's hit and caught! What a great catch by the shortstop Luke Chessie. Thought that might drop for a base hit, but jumping up and swatting the ball right out of the air for the third out. The Nor'easters have a couple base runners, but nothing comes of it. The deficit for the Nor'easters stays at 1. They will try to even it or take the lead as we head to the 5th inning. 5-4, Lightning. We're halfway home in the first half of this doubleheader, and the Lightning have made a pitching change. Kopetsky is done after 4 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, and 7 Ks. And on to replace him is the 5'10 left-hander, or right-hander, excuse me, out of Messalonsky, Brendan Roderick. He will be heading to Central Maine Community College in the fall. That's a beautiful campus I just called a couple of games at. Wish him luck there. In the meantime, though, had a great season on the mound for Messalonsky, and his squad made it to the Class A North semifinals before losing to the eventual runners-up Edward Little. Roderick is from Oakland, which is where Messalonsky is. And he will face off against the top of the Nor'easters lineup, getting their third crack at it, starting with Dawson Gunlaw, who has lined out to second and struck out swinging. But an off game for him. Started off the season on fire. His batting average was up around 600 heading into Thursday. It has fallen back to earth since then. Now batting a pedestrian .476, which is still tops in the league. Probably a bit lower than that after 2 outs thus far, but still. Gunlaw's a York High School graduate. Took a gap year at Bridgeton Academy to hone his skills. After getting first team all SMAA his senior year, fouls that back of high school. At St. Joseph's as a junior, he hit .264 with 1 home run, batted an 18 more while majoring in business management. One of the most consistent hitters in this lineup, but in an 0 for 2 funk, grounds that down the third baseline foul. Outside. 2-2 count. .510 righty deals. And that's chopped towards second. Going down the grass. But able to get the out. Reese Owens handling the quick throw and 1 away. This infield grass, if the ball gets rolling on it, just dies. We saw that a little earlier when Grady Hotham, who just made that nice little toss, picked it up after it took forever to roll to him and made an errant throw over to first that resulted in a Dylan Furman extra base. Ryan Robertson now has singled and struck out. Also came around to score as a stolen base. One of his squad's 4 runs. Cut and a miss. 1-1. The Lightning have a man up in the pen as well. I believe that's Nick Swain. So we may be seeing him soon. They have a deep bullpen full of a who's who of pitchers from all around Maine that's shined this past season. Outside for ball 3. And that's outside. Robertson is aboard with a walk, giving the Nor'easters a one-out base runner. And Luke Chessie has struck out swinging twice. Josh Kopetsky fully had his number. We'll see how he fares against the reliever Roderick. Outside for a ball. Roderick trying to establish that control. Can take a couple batters. That curveball is a force to be reckoned with when he's finding the strike zone. 1-0. Found it right there. And Chessie incredulous. 1-1. Low. Holland looking the base runner Robertson back to first. And he was thinking about going. That was a good call from the catcher Holland, who noticed that Robertson was getting ready to run, and they were able to throw him back. Now a mound conference here. Featuring the first baseman Owens, perhaps discussing strategy, keeping Robertson at bay. And that's all cleared up, so Chessie will keep on standing in. Roderick trying to get the second out of the inning. Make sure Robertson stays put. That is a strike. It's been a wide zone all day for both teams. One of those adjustments you just have to make. And Roderick's not taking any chances with that base runner. Don't blame him. Robertson's a speedster. He stole home on the pass ball strike 3. That's hit hard down the left field line. That'll drop and roll all the way into the corner for a fair ball. Rounding second into third, and rounding home, being waved home, is Robertson. Will he get in? Yes, he will. That throw will not reach the catcher's mitt, and that's a stand-up triple to even the score at 5 by Luke Chessie. A great piece of hitting. By the time the left fielder, Campbell Cassidy, could get to it, Chessie was already rounding second. Had a good hit his cutoff man pretty well, the third baseman Heffernan, and then threw home, but unable to connect with Holland. And the Nor'easters tie it up in the top of the 6th. Top of the 5th, excuse me. After having trailed 5-2. Now cutting a miss from Brady Graffam, who has gotten to first on a strikeout, as well as flat out to center. Kopetsky ready to deal. With a man on third, that's outside. The go-ahead run for Max Zalewski's squad is 90 feet away. And with just one out, any ball that leaves the infield will do it. Just like that one, out to left center. And running on, making the catch, is the left fielder. But Cassidy will not be able to make a throw, and in to score, give the Nor'easters a 6-5 lead, is Luke Chessie on the Brady Graffam sac fly. Roderick gets his second out on the catch on the run from Cassidy, but surrenders his squad's lead. And it will be a no decision on the 7-strikeout outing from Josh Kopetsky as Andrew Merrill stands in. Merrill, 2-0 count. He has struck out swinging and doubled. Came around to score on the Michael Wern double with 2 outs. It's inside to bring the count 3-0. And he went around. Setter's count. The Oxford Hills native looking to extend this inning with 2 outs. And he will do just that, taking ball 4. Second walk of the inning for Roderick. Roderick in his first frame has given up 2 hits, 2 walks, 2 runs. And Chris Balzano will now bat. He is flying out to right and reached on a fielder's choice. Slater thrown out at second. That's way outside and off the glove of Holland. Merrill will reach second. On the wild pitch. It's Messalonsky versus Oxford Hills, a battle of 2 northern schools. 1-0. Chopped to second. Throwing on to first to get him and retire the side, but the Nor'easters score twice on the triple from Luke Chessie. Another run, 2 runs come in. They take a 6-5 lead here in the 5th. So the bottom of the 5th now. On for a 5th inning of work is Dylan Miner, outlasting his Lightning counterpart. He will face off against Bebo, Holland, and Heffernan in this frame. Henry Bebo, first off, has doubled and struck out. Came around to score in that 4-run first inning. On the Gus Holland single. That's to the backstop for ball 1. Miner throws in ball 2. Bebo working a 3-0 count. Miner has already walked 3 men. And fires one in for the first strike of the inning. A Portland High School graduate fouls it back to bring the count full. That's popped up into foul ground on the infield, and making the grab is the third baseman, Chris Balzano. Had to make a long run and then double clutch at the very end, but able to make the grab over his shoulder. And Henry Bebo will sit down. Gus Holland has singled and flied out to right. The Freeport High School product, sporting number 55, takes ball 1. Chops out in the dirt towards short. Running on it, Chessie thrown over to first, and in time to get the out. Great connection for a quick second out. And Andrew Heffernan will bat with 2 down. He has grounded to second and also slapped a 2-run shot in the first inning. Scored the Lightning's 3rd and 4th runs as he fouls that down the left field line. Squad really has not done much of anything since. The first man to bat in the 2nd inning, Matthew Connor, got home on a Grady Hotham double. And since then, No Lightning players have crossed the plate, and the Nor'easters have scored 5 unanswered runs to turn a 4-1 deficit into a 6-5, or a 5-1 deficit into a 6-5 lead. Minor deals. Popped him up. Shallow in the infield. Balzano coming on to make the grab. And a nice clean 1-2-3 inning, the second of his outing for Dylan Minor. Keeps the score where it sits. Top of the 6th ready to get underway, and the Lightning are deeper into their bullpen, as I alluded to last inning. Brendan Roderick is out after a 1 inning of 2-run ball, and Nick Swain, the South Portland High School product, is in. One of the 3 South Portland Red Riots on this squad that are coming off their title. Swain is heading to Dean College in the fall, as that's hit hard out to right and just foul by Dylan Furman, who has singled and reached on a fielder's choice. Swain hit .231 with 12 hits, predominantly at the plate for the Red Riots. Facing off against Furman. The 0-1, right down the middle. Swain along with 2 others. That's it down for a base hit. Furman is on with a leadoff single, his 3rd trip to first base today. As I was saying, Swain, along with Andrew Heffernan and Richie Gilboy, the Red Riot trio on this lineup. Now Max Cloutier has walked and struck out. Looks at a strike. With Michael Wern on deck. 1-1. Wern had the double, the 2-out RBI double in the 4th inning to pull the Nor'easters within 1, and his teammates did the rest. Strike 1. Strike 2, excuse me. Cloutier stays alive. And I think that might have hit him. No, it was fouled off. Once more by Cloutier. Holland's been making the trip from behind the plate up to the mound a number of times today. First time he's done it with Swain. So Poe aces 1-2. That's popped up into the shallow outfield. Running on the second baseman, Grady Hotham, able to make the grab for the first out. And now Michael Warren will bat. He has that double as well as a fly out to right. The junior at St. Joseph's in left field today. Hits that through the gap for a base hit. Cloutier, or Furman, excuse me, down to second. Second single of the inning off of Swain. And Hunter Brissett, the 10th and final man on the roster, or on the lineup, excuse me, will bat for the 3rd time. He is singled and grounded out to short. And on first and second, one away, Chops that down the third base line. That's a fair ball past the diving third baseman, rounding third, and in to score is Dylan Furman to give the Nor'easters a 7-5 lead. Wern into second. Third single of the inning. For the Nor'easters. And that will bring up the top of the order. Dawson Gunlaw. He's 0 for 3 today. He's lined out to second. He's also struck out and grounded out. He's a fly out short of the out cycle, which is a thing I just made up. 1-1. Brissett at first, Wern at second, Furman in. One away for Swain. That's high. That is inside, but called strike 3. Gunlaw strikes out for the second time. He is 0 for 4 today. Swain gets his first K. 2 down now for Ryan Robertson. He has singled, walked, and struck out. Cut and miss. And did that clip him? Nope, he was able to dance out of the way. 1-1. It's outside for ball 2. This has been a long and drawn-out comeback for the Nor'easters that has turned into a 7-5 two-run lead. Inside. The Lightning jumped out with 4 runs in the bottom of the first inning. And have been outscored 6-1 since, as that is low and in the dirt for a walk. Robertson aboard with 2 down. His second base on balls of the day. And Nick Swain will try to get the third out in the form of Luke Chessie, who has struck out twice and tripled. Drove in a run in the process there. That's flat out to right. Able to make the grab to end the inning is Matthew Connor. But one more run comes in. The Nor'easters lead it 7-5. To the bottom of the 6th now. Dylan Miner is 5 innings in and still going strong. He's allowed 5 hits and 5 runs. Walked 3, struck out 1. But currently in line to get the win. As the Lightning trail by 2. Reese Owens will bat. He has singled and grounded out to second. Cuts and misses at strike 1. These two will likely face off at some point in college, with Owens heading to St. Joseph's and Miner heading back for one more year at USM. Oh, 2. Inside. And that's a cut and a miss at a ball in the dirt. Furman will throw on to Graffam to complete the out, just barely. He had to come off the bag and re-tag there, but able to complete it. Owens cuts and misses for just Miner's second K to start this inning off. Now Campbell Cassidy, who has popped out to short, grounded out to second. He and Gilboy are the only hitters in this lineup who have not reached base yet. As Cassidy takes strike one. Made a great running grab in left field, though. Miners 0-1. Right down the middle. Chop foul. Cassidy stays alive. The Edward Little product. Had to duck out of the way of that one right at his head. First ball of the count. 1-2 against Miner with one away. Low to even the count. It's shaping up to be a great, beautiful day for baseball. Of course, he's still got one more game after this one concludes. Forecast made it seem as though it would be very hot, but at least in this booth, it is a nice, comfortable temperature. Had a slight intermittent breeze, but for the most part, there's been still. The skies pockmarked by clouds. Payoff pitch, cut and a miss. Second strikeout of the inning to make it 3 on the game for Miner. Cassidy sits down now. Matthew Connor has walked and reached on an error. The Chevrolet product will stand in against the man from Sacabee Valley. Doubt they ever crossed paths in their high school days. Starts him off with a low ball. None on, 2 out. Miner has really gotten into his groove. Has not allowed a hit since the second inning when Grady Hotham doubled in a run. Has only allowed 2 base runners in that time. Both reached on, one reached on an error. That was Connor, and then Henry Lazier got to first on a fielder's choice. But Connor now 3-0. And that's outside. No! Just clipped the edge for a strike one. Ever since allowing the Andrew Heffernan 2-run home run, he has been more or less lights out. Allows the walk there, though. You give a 2-out base runner. Matthew Connor aboard for the 3rd time. Now Lazier has walked twice and reached on a fielder's choice. Lines that through the hole. That'll be a hit. Commentator's curse. Lazier is aboard for the 4th time in the game. A nice single between short and third. Connor down to second. And we may be seeing a pitching change here. Yes, indeed we will. Dylan Miner, 5 2/3 innings of more or less stellar work. Allowed 5 runs, but 4 of those were in his first frame. Was very good after that. 4 walks, 3 Ks, 5 hits. Doesn't look like a great line, but really got into his groove after the first couple innings. He will be subbed out. And it appears a new pitcher will take the mound. We will be right back. 2 down. We're coming back in the bottom of the 6th, and I really would love to tell you who's taking the mound for the Nor'easters, but unfortunately, sporting the number 5, which is not a number I currently have occupied in my roster card. So a new addition to the... Sorry about that. New addition to the roster. Apologies for that. We had some tripod troubles before the game, so that phone is balanced pretty precariously at the moment, but nothing doing there. The mystery left-hander 1-1 on Grady Hotham, who has doubled, grounded out, and flied out. Two one now. Outside on the strike zone, 2-2. Hooked it foul into the nor'easter dugout. Runner goes, and that's called out, and in time, the catcher Furman had the jump called, and Connor unable to make it into third. He's gunned down. We're going to head to the 7th inning now. The Nor'easters' last chance to tack on some insurance in a game they lead by 2. Nick Swain on to close out the top half of the 7th. He starts Brady Graffam off with a strike. Graffam has reached on a strikeout, flied out, and had a sac fly. Quick 0-2. Swain, his last inning, gave up 3 hits, 1 run, walked a man, struck out a man. That's outside. Tried to get him with a curve, but Graffam did not offer. Did on that, though. Fouled it back. One, two. That's hit high into center. But going back on it and making the catch, Henry Lodger. And there's one away. Andrew Merrill, the extra hitter, has doubled, singled, and struck out. Aside from Furman and Wern, he's been one of the best hitters in this lineup today. In there for strike 1. Oh, 2. Chris Balzano on deck. Hit high and deep but foul. That one's with the Squirrels now. Swain's another 0-2. That's chopped down the left field line. That'll drop for a base hit. Rounding first, but eventually deciding to stay at first, is Merrill. He's got himself a 1-out single. And a man aboard for Chris Balzano, who reached on a fielder's choice. Also flied out and grounded out. Popped him up. Down the left field line, foul. Balzano, a former all-state level hockey player at Thornton Academy. Chose to pursue baseball, spent a year at Bridgeton Academy, now heading into his third year at Roger Williams. 0-2. Merrill at first. That's a comebacker right at Swain and unable to corral it. No, he was. They're going to call him out. That looked scary. It looked like it might have gotten him in the throat, but he looks fine. He's got a smile on his face. Everybody's laughing. That could have been extremely scary if that had been just a few inches away from where it ended up, right in his glove. But as it stands, it's the second out. Cut and a miss for Dylan Furman. He has singled twice, reached down a fielder's choice, and every time he has come up to the plate, he has wound up coming around to score. He is 3 of the 7 runs on the board for the Norsemen. Or the Nor'easters, excuse me. That's popped out of play. I'm sure I've called them the Norsemen at some point during this broadcast. If I have, I apologize. 2 teams with the prefix Nor. From the same Latin root. Of course, Norse people were people that lived in the north. That's low for ball 1. Little history lesson for you. Merrill's still on first. And Furman looks at strike 3. He's retired for the first time, and that'll be it for the Nor'easters bats. The Lightning will head to the bottom of the 7th with a 2-run deficit. We'll see what they can make up. Don't go anywhere. Well, it all comes down to this, ladies and gentlemen. Hotham, Gilboy, and Bebo. The 3 that will stand in against the lefty number 5, assuming closing duties for the Nor'easters. Looking to move to 2 games over 500 and 2 straight wins against the Lightning. Hotham, though, has doubled, flied out, and grounded out. He was at the plate when Matthew Connor was thrown out at third base to end the 6th inning. The Erskine Academy graduate looks at a ball. 1-1. In for a strike. Deals, and again, that looked like it hit him, but fouled off. Perhaps, or perhaps just a ball that took a strange angle. Never can tell with these things. 2-2 the count, so that was a ball. Lefty's offering. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Hotham sits down. And that will bring up Richie Gilboy. Looks at a strike. Oh. No. Okay, so that was strike 3. Excuse me. I saw Hotham walk away and thought that was the end of the at-bat. He strikes out looking. Nothing really functionally changed. Now Richie Gilboy will stand up. My apologies for that lapse. He is 0 for 3. He's grounded out, lined out, and grounded out once more. Lines that foul. A 1. just outside. The lefty Gilboy, defending champion. Looking to start things off here. Takes a cut and a miss to move the count 1-2. And that's low. If the Nor'easters can close this out, it would mark 2 straight wins as the season is nearing half over. And that is strike 3. Gilboy goes down. The second straight looking strikeout from the man of mystery. And now, with 2 down and none on, the hopes of this Lightning squad to pull even in the record rest on Henry Bebo, who's doubled in his first time up, but struck out and popped out the next 2 times after that. Looks at strike 1. 2 strikes away from closing this out. After the first batter, that's flied out to the second baseman. Able to make the grab is Max Cloutier, and that will do it. The Nor'easters take a 7-5 comeback win, bring their record to 6-4. The Lightning, under Matt Powers, fall to 0-2 after this game. The first half of the doubleheader in Harrison. If you liked what you saw, if you're looking at your YouTube recommendations, there's most likely a second half of the doubleheader popped up, so why don't you check that one out? I'll be on the call for that one too. I've been Charlie Fellows, and I hope you enjoyed. So long.